Good morning, welcome to this morning's meditation space with me. Hi, morning Nick. I hope you're well, I hope you're all rested. I've got a shorter session with you this morning, so I've set my timer. I'm going to start by reading from Opening Doors Within by Eileen Cady, and today's date, which is December the 12th, but of course this reading will apply to anybody that watches this at any point. When you realise the hours of practice, a good pianist has to put in each day before performing a superb concert, you will begin to understand why you have to keep ever on the alert to be able to live this spiritual life the way it should be lived. It does not mean you have to strain, but it does mean that you have to be constantly on the alert and aware of what is happening, especially at first. Like the pianist practicing for perfection, having to go over and over a certain difficult piece before reaching a feeling of satisfaction. So do you have to go over and over the same ground, learning the same lessons until they've become so much a part of you that you cannot separate yourself from them, for they are ingrained. Remember, no one else can live this life for you. No one else can do your practice for you. Only you can do it. So why not start doing it now? Here, this morning, with me. Good morning everybody, welcome to this morning's meditation space with me, where I'm sharing readings and some meditation. Please say hi to each other, and please say hi and let me know where you're tuning in from. I'm going to do a reading from the Osho Zen Tarot this morning for us. Yesterday was actually Osho's birthday. Of course, he's no longer in his body, but many people over the world, around the world, will have celebrated his birthday and remembered him yesterday. Of course, we are never truly born, and we never truly die. That is part of the illusion that life somehow ends and begins, when it's just transforming. It just transforms. From one type of experience to another. This morning we've got morality. And integration. And sorrow. Morality. Morality has restricted all the juice and energy of life to the narrow confines of her mind. It can't flow there, so she really has become a dried up old prune. Her whole manner is very proper and stiff and severe, and she is always ready to see every situation as black and white, like the jewels she wears around her neck. The Queen of Clouds lurks in the minds of all of us who have been brought up with rigid ideas of good and bad, sinful and virtuous, acceptable and unacceptable, moral and immoral. It's important to remember that all these judgments of the mind are just products of our conditioning. And whether our judgments are applied to ourselves or to others, they keep us from experiencing the beauty and godliness that lies within. Only when we break through the cage of our conditioning and reach the truth of our own hearts can we begin to see life as it really is. Bodhidharma far transcends moralists, Puritans, so-called good people, do-gooders. He has touched the very rock bottom of the problem. Unless awareness arises in you, all your morality is bogus. All your culture is simply a thin layer which can be destroyed by anybody. But once your morality has come out of your awareness, not out of a certain discipline, then it is a totally different matter. Then you will respond in every situation out of your awareness, and whatever you do will be good. Awareness cannot do anything that is bad. That is the ultimate beauty of awareness, that anything that comes out of it is simply beautiful, is simply right, and without any effort and without any practice. So rather than cutting the leaves and the branches, cut the root, and to cut the root, there is no other method than a single method of being alert, being aware, being conscious. I'm going to read the next card, which is integration. Which is this one here. And if you're just tuning in, please say hi and where you are. The image of integration is the unico mystica, the fusion of opposites. This is a time of communication between the previously experienced dualities of life. Rather than night opposing day, dark suppressing light, they work together to create a unified whole, turning endlessly one into the other, each containing in its deeper core the seed of the opposite. The eagle and the swan are both beings of flight and majesty. The eagle is the embodiment of power and aloneness. The swan is the embodiment of space and purity, gently floating and diving upon and within the element of the emotions, entirely content and complete within her perfection and beauty. Morning, Susie. We are the union of eagle and swan, male and female, fire and water, life and death. The card of integration is a symbol of self-creation, new life, the mystical union, otherwise known as alchemy. The conflict is in man. Unless it is resolved there, it cannot be resolved anywhere else. The politics is within you. It is between the two parts of the mind. A very small bridge exists. If that bridge is broken through some accident, through some psychological defect or something else, the person becomes split. The person becomes two persons, and the phenomenon of schizophrenia or split personality happens. If the bridge is broken, and the bridge is very fragile, then you become two. You behave like two persons. In the morning you are very loving, very beautiful. In the evening you are very angry, absolutely different. You don't remember your morning. How can you remember? Another mind was functioning, and the other person becomes two persons. If this bridge is strengthened so much that the two minds disappear as two and become one, then integration, then crystallization arises. What George Jerdef used to call the crystallization of being is nothing but these two minds becoming one, the meeting of the male and the female within, the meeting of yin and yang, the meeting of the left and the right, and the meeting of the logic and the illogic, the meeting of Plato and Aristotle. And it is the practice of meditation that helps the mind integrate into that oneness. This is why it's important. Not just, well, there's lots of reasons really, but the next card is sorrow. Can you see that? These all have things to teach us. The image is of Ananda, a cousin of the disciple of Gautama Buddha. He was at Buddha's side constantly, attending to his every need for 42 years. When Buddha died, the story is told that Ananda was still at his side weeping. The other disciples chastised him for his misunderstanding. Buddha had died absolutely fulfilled. He should be rejoicing, but Ananda said, "You misunderstand. I'm weeping not for him, but for myself, because for all these years I have been constantly at his side, but I have still not attained." Morning, Lynn. Ananda stayed awake for the whole night, meditating deeply and feeling his pain and sorrow. By the morning, it is said, he was enlightened. Times of great sorrow have the potential to be times of great transformation, but in order for transformation to happen, we must go deep to the very root of our pain and experience it as it is, without blame or self-pity. This pain is not to make you sad. Remember, that's where people go on missing. This pain is just to make you more alert, because people become alert only when the arrow goes deep into their heart and wounds them. Otherwise they don't become alert. When life is easy, comfortable and convenient, who cares? Who bothers to become alert? When a friend dies, there is a possibility. When your woman leaves you alone, those dark nights you are lonely, you have loved that woman so much and you have staked all. And then suddenly one day she is gone. Crying in your loneliness, those are the occasions when, if you use them, you can become aware. The arrow is hurting. It can be used. The pain is not to make you miserable. The pain is to make you aware. And when you are aware, misery disappears. The way I understand it, the pain, the suffering, is to wake you up. Wake you up to what is real and true, and always here and always present. Pain is a pointer to this moment. How can you be, if you're in pain, how can you be anywhere else? How can your mind wander into anything else? The pain brings you right here, right now. I think I'm going to just take one of these from the Buddha cards this morning as well and share that with us all. I do enjoy doing these little readings. Please say hello to each other. There's a few more of you here now. I've got this one. This one. Live in joy, in peace, even among the troubled. If the only way you can be happy is to have everybody else happy, then you are never going to be happy. Buddha is stating a simple fact. He is not saying don't help people, but by being ill yourself you cannot help them. By being poor yourself you cannot help them. If the doctor also falls ill to help his patients, will you call him a saint? You will call him just stupid, because this is the time he needs all his health so that he can help other people and be helpful to people. First, be selfish. First, transform yourself. Your life in peace, in joy, in health can be a great source of nourishment for people who are starving for spiritual food. Material riches is very simple, just a little more technology, a little more science, and people can be rich. The real problem is how to be inwardly rich. In this world, hate never yet dispelled hate. Only love dispels hate. This is the law, ancient and inexhaustible. Good morning, Ryan. Only light can dispel darkness. Love is light, the light of your being, and hate is the darkness of your being. How is the light brought in? Become silent, thoughtless, conscious, alert, aware, awake. This is how light is brought in, and the moment you are alert, aware, hate will not be found. These are experiments to be done, not just words to be understood. Experiments to be done. Try to hate somebody consciously and you will find it impossible. Either consciousness disappears, then you can hate, or if you are conscious, hate disappears. They can't exist together. Light and darkness cannot exist together, because darkness is nothing but the absence of light. So, let's move into some meditation now. And just take some deep breaths into your body, into your belly. And with each breath, connecting deeper, feeling the deeper connection with yourself. And whatsoever you are feeling this morning, whatever is coming up for you this morning, and go into it, get curious about it. Allow yourself to explore whatever feelings and emotions are surfacing. Because when we can truly sit with it all, with the sorrow and the joy and the pain and the ecstasy, then we are free. then we become liberated. There is nothing to hold us back. And we can face it all. And we can accept it all and love it all. And we're truly free. We're no longer a slave to the mind or a slave to our emotions. So just breathe now, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Focus your attention on being your breath, feeling the breath in the body, feeling the connection with the breath and the body. Being aware of any emotions or feelings or sensations, any thoughts. And staying as that awareness, just allowing things to arise. And watching and if there's sadness there, go into it, feel it, be it, and see what happens. If there's joy there, go into it, feel it, be it, and see what happens. And you don't have to label it. Sometimes we have no idea what we're feeling. Labels are very convenient ways of compartmentalizing things in an effort to understand. But no real effort is needed. Simply being a space of awareness for everything that is arising, that is coming up, to be looked at. And as this happens, it is the light of your being, the light of your awareness that is shining onto those things, into those things. And your light, the light you are always, eternally, is transformational. And where there is light, there is freedom. Where there is light, there is freedom. And freedom is home. Breathing, feeling, bringing your awareness, everything that arises, comes up to be looked at. Remaining the awareness, the watcher. Becoming aware of your breath again. Aware of the connection with the body and the breath. And in your own time, you can open your eyes. Much, much love to you all, and many blessings. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.